Good morning all.
Once.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so today we are going to discuss about web application hacking, right? And web application penetration testing. So in this, the very first thing is we need to understand, like yesterday I said, like there are two types of web applications. Number one, the web applications with database and the applications without database. Okay. Yesterday we have configured WordPress as well, right? And we have hacked into WordPress with the help of brute force attack, right? So we have already gone through one of the biggest attack of any any web application, that is brute force. So now you have already got an idea about how to perform brute force on a network-based application, or means a network means or a machine or a server or a web application, right? So you have gone through the biggest attack. Now in this chapter we are going to discuss about web applications. So web application have lots of attacks, right? In fact 90% of the market, right, is having a requirement of web application penetration tester or security analyst or such kind of things. So this chapter plays an important role. Okay, let's see how it works. So you can see 80% of the attacks are cross-site scripting attacks, which is with the help of JavaScript. So you should be having a very good knowledge on JavaScript, right? Now, how many of you are aware about what exactly is JavaScript and how to work with JavaScript? Anyone? Don't know how to work with JavaScript? I'm not talking about Java, okay? It is JavaScript. Java and JavaScript both are different. Am I audible?
If I have an idea on Java, but no, I don't think I have JavaScript.
Well, JavaScript are taught in schools. Okay, very basic fundamentals of HTML. Just a second. Okay, never mind. We'll see. Now these courses don't have JavaScript topic. Okay, so you have to perform R&D on that. Okay. Now furthermore, SQL injection. Now SQL injection is used to perform database related attacks. The name itself says SQL, right, which is a structured query language. It is used in database languages like MS SQL, MySQL, NoSQL, right, MongoDB. So there are lots of SQL related database languages, right, Oracle, right? So it is all based on that type of attacks. Next is parameter tampering. Now parameter tampering is a kind of attack where you can change the parameters of the website link. For example, user ID equals to 1 and user ID equals to 2. So let's say you logged in with user ID number 1. You change any particular parameter in the link and get the output in the reply. That is parameter tampering. So you can see most of them are these attacks. Then cookie poisoning. You sniff the cookie of some other user and use that cookie in order to switch to another user account. That is cookie poisoning. Database server attacks. Now this is something related to web application, SQL injection, right? But this is something will directly attack on the database server so that you can get all the access. Yesterday we have gone through web server. Biggest attack is buffer overflow. Very rare. Nobody have in-depth idea on in-depth idea insurance. It is very you can say useful biggest attack, but it requires thorough knowledge of reverse engineering, right? And my specialty is in buffer overflow, right? It is an awesome attack, but you require some sort of, you can say, backend configuration, some sort of reverse engineering the code. For example, you have an Android application APK file, right? You download it from Play Store, but you know how to reverse engineer, means how to reverse the code and then change the logic of the program, right? Or in other words, if I say how to create crack, right? You might be using downloading the software, right? And you might be purchasing the licenses, right? But you know what, if you don't have internet connectivity, still when you enter the serial key the product get activated, right guys? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So when your internet is not working, then how the product is getting activated with the help of serial key? That means somewhere inside the software only it is checking the serial key, and if the serial key matches the one which you enter, means you have the valid license, right? And it registers automatically, right? It makes you full license software, right? So if it is already inside, definitely we can extract that serial key. So that methodology is reverse engineering, right? So definitely when I can extract the logic from the background, that means I can definitely change the logic of the software, right? And definitely I can search the coding related errors or coding related, you can say, vulnerabilities in the application in order to get the shell, right? Easily I can get it. So these are some primary attacks. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So these are the top trending attacks over the time. But there is a company called as OWASP. OWASP Top 10 Web, and you go and search for the OWASP Top 10. OWASP is a company which create a list of top 10 vulnerabilities in the world, right? So lastly, it is updated in 2021, right? And you can see what are the latest attacks. Every 4 years they change. Okay, every 4 years they create a new list. So in 2013 it created one, then after 4 years 2017, and last year, means in 2021, they created the new list in the COVID situation. And you can see what are the changes. The most critical, you can say, and most of the times attacked is broken access control, then something with cryptography. Injection means SQL injection, right? XML injection, then Java injection, JavaScript injection kind of thing, injection mechanisms. Insecure design flaws. Design flaws means something with the HTML, means cross-site scripting and such kind of attacks. Security misconfiguration. This is something which you improperly configure the web server kind of things. Vulnerable and outdated components means you have not updated the components, and it is something vulnerable, right? So if you exploit that particular vulnerabilities, it is something like this. Identification of the authentication failures, so brute force kind of attacks. Software and data integrity failures, so it is something like buffer overflow where you are not checking the integrity and it is causing the vulnerability. Security logging and monitoring failures means you are stopping the logs to send to the SIEM tool or logs or logging information. This is something actually not new, but it was further added to some other mechanism, but now it is added in the top 10 list. Server side request forgery. With the help of this, you are querying to the server and getting the reply. Many times you are even getting the output, even getting the reverse shell, right? Okay, so these are the top 10 attacks. You can directly get it from Google. You can see if you master this top 10 attack, you can easily work with bug bounty. So I'll show you all these attacks, right? It will be more fun. I'll show you practically, but for that you need a lab. Okay, so before proceeding towards the lab side, first understand what is a web application. So web application is a kind of you can say application in which there is a front end, right? And the front end will be having front end, then we will be having a back end, and we will be also be having a database, right? Which and all of these will be hosted in web server. Okay. Yesterday we have gone through all the web server related attacks as well as we have also gone through website attack but brute force only. So today we'll be going towards a deeper way. Front end. Front end is something which is visible to the user, client side access. Right? Usually it is written in PHP, ASP, right? HTML, that type of coding languages are used. In backend, now backend is something where you can say some admin access is there, right? There are lots of the websites as you can see the public access and then admin access, right? So it is something admin view, okay, which is also written in PHP, ASP, HTML kind of thing. And lastly, we will be having a database. Now, database is something where we store all the data, right? Collection of data. So it is in MS SQL, MySQL, NoSQL, Oracle, right? Anything, but it is written in SQL only, right? So here, all these layers have a different types of attacks. Getting the point,
Yes, sir.
guys? So we'll be checking out these all things. Okay. So this is what web application is. So if your web application is vulnerable to such attacks, anybody can get into your website and change the logic of the program, disable your website's public view, order something, right? For example, if Amazon is having issues, right, you can order iPhone easily, right, without any charges or something, right? That type of things. So how it works, right? How it works is something. See, this is a user prompt. Okay, when a website opens to you, right, what you do is you will be having a login form, right? Login form. So you will enter username and password. It is actually not directly visible, directly going to the server, right? No, it is when you enter username and password, the server is hosted somewhere which is on the internet and definitely behind the firewall so that it can be at least have a minimum security. So when you enter username and password, it goes to the internet and to the firewall. Now there are two types of firewall as you have already learned in the evading firewall and such chapter, right? There are two types of firewall. One is network based firewall and another one is web application firewall. So this will be definitely network based firewall. If it is a network based firewall, it cannot understand your you can say web application related queries like SQL, JavaScript, SCSS kind of thing. No, it won't understand. But in case it is a web application firewall, it will understand the logic flow, right? Here it is a network based firewall, so it is going to just check IP address which is allowed or not. So once it is allowed, it is going to the web server where web server is responsible to check only okay it is for which server, which website. It says juggyboy.com, so if it will check whether I have juggyboy.com. If it is yes, it will send to juggyboy.com website. Now as per the logic of juggyboy.com, this is a login form, right? So it will be going to database and check whether the username password is correct or not. For that, the database is in the install in somewhere in the OS, right, operating system. So it will check, create a OS call and send the query to the database management system, where the database management system will fire this particular query sent by the web application, which you can see right here in SQL. So select start from news, where you can see it is a website in news where ID equals, you can see the user ID equals 6329. So here where ID equals 669, if the user is valid, then it will tell the application that it is valid and it will be redirected to some another page with the authorization. This is how the application works. Okay, and we will change the logic of this query in order to get the further attacks. So there are two types of web applications we have specified. Number one, Web 1.0, Web 2.0. 1.0 is something which we have configured yesterday, WordPress and such type of websites. Web 2.0 is something where it is public facing. For example, WordPress, which is cloudly hosted, which you can carry with you, right? Which is easily available, right? You don't need to register, you don't need to work with that, right? For example, social media sites, dynamic sites, emails, right, kind of things. So each of these layer of OSI, you can see OSI layers, 7 layers. So each of these layer have some or other vulnerability. So web applications come under the application layer because it is uh, opened with an application called as browser, right? And definitely the sessions are created in the session layer, and the host, it is hosted on Apache server, which is in transport layer, and Apache server is sending the connectivity and session request to database server via Windows call. So it works with network layer, transport layer, session layer, and application layer. So 3, 4, 5, and 7. These are the 4 layers where a web application works. You can see there are lots of the attacks you can do in a web application. Parameter tampering, cookie. You can see the list of big things. Now this is page 2, right? Getting the point. So guys, before proceeding further, lots of the attacks are there. Let's first configure the lab. Okay. So I'll just start my Kali. Well, I have an application already hosted in Metasploitable, but first, and definitely we are going to use Metasploitable, but first I'll show you how to configure it in Kali. Okay, there is a web application called as DVWA, which we are going to use in order to perform lots of the attacks. I'll show you OWASP top 10 attacks, which are the most common in the world, so that it will be more fun. So our today's task is to configure this application. Okay, guys, okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
So you can see the very first thing is this is my IP and my machine is connected to internet. Have a look. Okay, you should be having the same thing first. This is always the first check. So sudo su to clear. So this is my first step. Now what you have to do is we need some sort of prerequisites first. Okay, so we need Apache. So we'll check first service Apache to start. Yesterday we already had one, right? WordPress, so we already had Apache here. Another thing is we need database, so I'll say service MariaDB start. These are the primary two things. Now I'll directly switch to cd where www html. This is the place where any website will be hosted in Kali, right? Yesterday we hosted WordPress. Today I'm going to host a new application. Okay, guys, okay. So now I'm going to search for DVWA download. Okay, and you can see the first link, DG Ninja. I'll just give you the link in the chat. So I'll just copy the code from here, you can see, and I'm going to clone this website. So I say git clone and paste the URL. So it will download DVWA from GitHub. You can see, right, step by step. So once you have downloaded this complete thing, right, you can say ls and you will see DVWA in capitals, right? So I'll just make it in a small, I don't want in capital, okay? So DVWA, that is fine if you want to in capital, okay? That's not a big deal. You can see it is now in small letters, okay? Now ls minus lh, there are lots of the things where it requires good permissions. So right now it is having directory, only root can have the access, and root group is having the right permissions, and others will be having the read and execute permissions. But as we are going to work with database, it also requires some sort of database related queries. So I'm just going to give chmod minus r means recursive all permissions to DVWA, so that there will be no permission related issues with this application. And you can see the color is changed with all the permissions. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm going to visit inside and say ls, and you can see there are lots of the folders and files inside which are in PHP. So definitely we also need to have PHP. In Kali we already have PHP. Yesterday we already confirmed and installed WordPress, which is also in PHP, so it is fine. Okay. So now I'm moving to config to configure further things. There is a config inc php dist file, right? So when we run the ls command, we will see this file inside this directory. So that is the original file which is containing the default configuration. We won't edit it. Instead of it, we will create a copy of this file. So I'll say copy config, and I'll just use the same thing but just remove the dist thing. Okay, just remove .dist, and you will see now there are two files. One is with inc, one is with dist. Okay. Furthermore, I will say nano and config this file. So you see it requires MySQL, but you see there is a database it is requiring, there is a user DVWA, and there is a password which is all stored here. Okay, so I'll just note out all this username password so that I can create that user and password. Okay, you can see, so server is fine. I'll say db equals to dvwa in small letters, user is whatever dvwa in small letters, and password is small p at the rate ssw0rd. Okay, this is the password. Okay guys,
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
so I'll just make it the password as pretty small so that it can be more easy for me. If you want to make it this one, that is also fine. um, make it like user, and this is also small one so that it can be easy for me. Okay, cool. So this is my settings, and now save it. You don't even need to do this, it is not compulsory, but I have done to make it more easy and convenient for me. Okay, now we need a database server, and we already have a database server, right? So I'll just log into my database server, MySQL, enter. I have into it. So now what I will do is I'll create first a user. So which user I want to create? That is this user with this password. Okay. So I'll say create user, user at the rate. The server was 127.0.0.1. So I'll use the same. And I say identified by, and in quotes specify the password which you want. You can see it is created. Okay, and now I'm going to say grant all permissions so that I can give the permissions to log in. Okay, on. We need to create a database as well, which I forgot to create. Okay, so I'll first create a database. Okay, after user, so I'll say create database, and database name is dbwa, right? So I'll just use dbwa. Database is created. I'm now giving all the permissions to our user. Grant all permissions on, I'm sorry, not permissions, privileges. Privileges on dbwa dot start. So this database to which user? That is user at the rate 127.0.0.1, right? And as identified by, this is the password, right? So you can see all the permissions are given. Okay, and always say flush privileges at the last to refresh all the permissions. Now your user is created. Just cross check MySQL minus u user minus p. This is a command to check, and I'll say pass. Let me check. I have, it is not logging in. Let me check. I have not created any mistake. And you can see there is a DBWA user. Let's check the users as well. So this is the user which is already created. Looks like everything is fine, but okay, okay, okay. as it is taking local host which is not available, so we need to specify user @ 127.0.0.1. Forget it, that's not a problem. Okay, so now as we have already done with the username and all things, okay, what we need to do is we need to install some updates. Okay, but as we already have PHP installed with us, so that's not a big issue. Let's just verify what PHP version we have. I guess we have PHP 8, right? 8.1.7, so that is fine. Okay, so now we are going to configure Apache, so etc apache apache2.conf, and there is a configuration called as allow URL app open. We need to open that in order to configure the website via browser. So if it is not here, it will be somewhere in the PHP side. So etc PHP, how many PHP have? 8.1. Here is also one Apache configuration, and I'll say PHP NI. You can increase the time to 300. Right, so as you can see, allow URL app open is on, right? But allow URL include is off, so we will make it also on. Okay, these are the two primary requirements. I'll just save the configuration and I'll say service Apache 2 restart, so that the new configuration will be in effect. So looks like now we are ready to go. Let's open the browser and I'll say 127 http :/127.0.0.1 as a DVWA. Enter. So you can see it is directly coming up here. I have to specify the username in. Was already recorded, right? So why it is again started? Oh shit, man. Guys, can you all see my page?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we have done with these settings, you can see, right? And if the database already agreed, it will clear the data and it will reset their password to admin and password. Okay, this will be the username password. Now, what we have done is we have set all the requisites. Some of the missing modules are also there, you can see. So we need to fulfill that missing modules or it won't be installed properly. Right, so it says PHP GD is required. So I'll install PHP GD apt install PHP 8.1 hyphen GD. Okay, so we have done with the installation. Restart the Apache and restart the PHP service as well. It says there is no PHP service, that is fine. Let's check and refresh the page. You can see it is now installed. All these prerequisites needs to be fulfilled. Okay, the username and everything is cool. ReCAPTCHA is missing. I don't need reCAPTCHA. Okay, but if you want, you can ask for the reCAPTCHA as well. We have already opened with this. If you, right, we have already done with this as well. So let's say create, and it says database is created and everything is fine. Let's log in with admin and password as login. Save. So this is our web application, you can see, which has lots of attacks. Can you see that? SQL injection, weak identities, command injection, right? All this we will see. Okay. So this application you can manually configure, or if you have Metasploitable, it is pre-installed in Metasploitable. But I prefer to install it in Kali. As you can see, my Kali is running 192.168.20.8. If I just say enter, you can see there is some multiple applications running, right? DBW is among one. Click on it, you can say admin, password is password, login, and it is already there. You can see. So it depends on you. It is the older version might be, and so the attacks are less. In here, you can see some attacks are more. Brute force, command injection, CSRF, file inclusion, SQL injection, blind injection, file upload is there, weak session ID, XSS, right? So attacks are less. That is a big case. Okay, guys. So in DBWA, You can get a PHP information. You can see everything related to your PHP, as well as you can go with TVWA security and change the security level of it, right? So always start with low level, right? Because if you don't know the basics, you won't know the high level of stuff, right? Start with a lower level and submit so that you can further practice it. We have already gone through brute force. Remember yesterday? It is the same kind of attack. Now, if you forget how to configure DVWA, then I'm going to give you a reference URL which will help you to configure DBWA. Okay. This one is good. So this is for your reference. It is a step-by-step configuration of DBWA in Kali Linux. Just use this methodology in order to configure it. The only command it don't have is create database DBWA. Only he don't create database. Okay, so I'll share the command as well in the chat in order to configure the database in Kali. Okay, guys. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so I want you all to configure this application in your Kali. I have shared the URL and I have shared the command. I want everybody to configure this application right now, because without this application we cannot proceed further and see the practicals. So I want everybody to do it right now. Okay, guys. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
so I'm giving you 1 hour. Okay, so that you can practice this. In 1 hour is more than sufficient. Okay, so 30 minutes I'm giving. I want everybody to configure this. Okay, starting the timer. I have also shared the reference link. If you need any help, you make use of this reference link. It has a step-by-step process. See you in 30 minutes, guys.
दिखना तो
Good morning. I am speaking to Dambati. Hi, my name is Dambati. I am calling from Apprentice Training Solutions. I called you regarding a job opportunity. We are providing part-time jobs. Are you interested? Client is ESOP, US-based company. You can work for 20 hours per week. 3 years
20
experience.
hours.
Part-time jobs are very safe increasing.
Client is company ESOP client US
Client,
client
providing for
so we are hiring for आया नहीं क्या करूं
and folder.
यही रहा
Direct work आणि edit करायचे.
कैंटीन आपको लैपटॉप है
మేబీ పక్క నుంచి ఏమైనా వచ్చింది స్మెల్ రాయట్లా ఒక్కసారి కదా అది కలిపి చేసిన ఫోల్డర్ ఇచ్చినది రాలేదు
కింద తీసా
ఇది 50 grams నాదైతే प्लास्टिक कवर होता नहीं उसको वो नहीं समझती देखो जो लिखा है ये प्लास्टिक कवर है
हाँ ये चीज कर लेंगे ये करने का
ये प्लास्टिक कवर है ये सब भाग है ये ड्राइव करना दिखता है
अच्छा
ये अच्छा चाहिए कामं होते जसं आपल्याला एक्झॅक्ट फॉरवर्ड जायचं लोक रीड्स यायचं लोक आपलं आर्टिकल्स लाईक चाहिए अच्छा है ना नहीं आपने बघितलं डिस्कनेक्ट कराशील अच्छा है ऐसा ही बना लेता ब्राउजर अच्छा नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम हो नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम अच्छा है ये अलग ही अच्छा है बघण्यात आलेली आधीच ना अरे अरे ये 60,000 तो 20 ఏదో 14 है 4 lakhs ये लगी वेस्ट है तो वेस्ट आपसे क्या ही बोलेगा वो बता दे ये पता है ये अच्छा है डिजाइन अच्छा है बाकी प्रिंट थोड़ा सा हाफ इसमें निकाल लेते हैं शादी जैसे तो पहन सकते हैं नेक्स्ट फंक्शंस को तो ये डाला तो
Okay guys, so done configuring the DVW application, everyone.
अब ये भी पसंद नहीं है कोई स्कूल जाएगा
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now as we are on the application side, I'm going to show you some sort of tools by which we can first of all find out the vulnerabilities in the application. Okay. So there are some sort of tools. Okay. One of is Golismero. You can see this is one.
ये 50 क्यों इसके क्या अच्छा जाके बता रही पर्स भी देखो एक ही बार बात है पर्स वो चाहिए सकती है कि तुम कौन सा प्राइस लगाएगी पर्स अभी तो फिर भी जाना
It is connected.
वही ले लो
So it is not at all blocked. Okay. It is connecting via this domain. So it should definitely send the logs. Check if without this, what you say, logs, this one, do we have this firewall in the list? Which one? I can see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So check whether see this is a real time logs, right? So it will show everything. Right? Mm, Okay, let me think. I'll just come back to you. Okay, because it should send. I need to think of like why it is not coming. One more thing. One more thing. As shipper is getting the logs, right? Just check it whether shipper is forwarding the logs further or not. Okay. So in now in the same command, yeah, just change it to the shipper IP. Okay, and see whether it is forwarding or not. Okay. Yeah. So guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is Police Mero. I'll just send you the reference link. Now, Qualys Mero is a web application scanner, like the scanners we have gone through earlier, right? So I'm going to start Metasploitable and going to scan Metasploitable because we have the DVWA app over there as well, right? So we will scan DVWA with the help of Qualys Mero. Okay. So it is a CLI based again tool. You can see it is Python based. You just have to open Qualys Mero, download Qualys Mero. The steps are specified here. You don't need to worry about anything, right? Simple command scan HTTPS or HTTP whatever and the name of the website in the URL. Okay, so it will scan everything. Okay, so let's see how it works. Let's start our Metasploit first.
Sir, your screen is too small, sir. Can you?
Bro, I cannot do anything in this screen. What about now? Okay.
Yes, sir. It's only for Metasploit.
Yeah, that will be slow, small only. Okay. So how you can install is first you have to download the Qualys Mero from Git, right? But before that you need Python 2, okay, or it won't work. So first check whether we have Python 2 or not. So I can say Python double tap. So you can see it is we already have Python to install in our Kali. So we don't need to worry about these things, right? But still I'll just copy this command and run it so that it can down instant install the further things, for example Python PINP, docutils, such basic utilities, right? So it can see for okay, so we'll proceed to Qualys Mero Ali. Okay, I'll just open the GitHub page of Qualys Mero and you can see the installation is pretty simple. You can see it is specified here as well. All the commands are here. Okay, so I'll just say we will go to OPT folder and then we will download this one. So I'll just copy this and cd opt git clone, enter. Okay, so now this IP is Cloudflare IP. Okay, so it is forwarding to Cloudflare. So there is no issue from shipper. Okay, now I think something is blocking from Cloudflare. Okay, so contact the Cloudflare team. Okay, in order to check. No, because it is all forwarding to Cloudflare. This IP is Cloudflare IP. If you want to cross check and confirm, take the snapshot, okay, and send it to further teams. I say copy, go to my ip.ms, okay, and that IP which we saw 140.239.76.78, right? Just enter it here. 140.239.70 76.78. Enter. So you can see it is a net Enrich IP, but okay, but it is a Cloudflare IP. Okay. Okay. It is our IP taken from Cloudflare. Okay. So we are getting the logs. Either it can be a Cloudflare IP or either it can be our logs test or HA proxy something. Okay. So now we don't know this IP belongs to HA proxy or logstash, but somewhere it is. Shipper is not an issue. Okay, so whoever is maintaining logstash or whatever, I guess it is a SIEM admin team which are managing, right? Send it to them. Just specify the screenshot that shipper is sending the logs to this particular IP, which belongs to, and this IP might be belongs to logstash or HA proxy. So please check. Okay. Yeah. Send it to Lavanya first. Might be Lavanya will restart the HA proxy and it will be done. Okay. So guys, Colismero, right? So we have Colismero here now. You can see CD Colismero. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So ls, and you can see it has some prerequisites, right? So we will first install the prerequisites in order to further proceed. Okay. What is that error? So when I see, you can see this error is particularly different. Okay, I'll just copy this. This is a prerequisite. You can see there is a spelling mistake here, right? And here this is different. Okay. So we need to install the prerequisites as well, like this. And it says there is no installation candidate for docutils and Python pip. Bro, mute yourself first. So you can see the remaining things we have installed. For Python 2 pip, right, and docutils. These two things are now pending. So for Python 2 there is a different methodology to install, but still first what we will do is let's say proceed further and install the prerequisites with the help of this. Okay, easy command. and you can see Python pip is already installed. Okay, so that is also requisite is fulfilled. We also have Unix prerequisites. I'll just copy that and install it here. That is also successfully installed. So now we are ready to use Golis Mero. First, I will create a shortcut, a link, right, so that I can directly open Golis Mero without any issues, and that is done. Furthermore, if you have API to Shodan or any other things, you can add it here. If you don't have, not to worry, right? So what I will do is I will add the API of Shodan, okay? But I don't require the API of Shodan, so forget it, okay? Furthermore, we can directly use it. So how to use it? Let's see. So now Golis Mero is installed, okay, guys? So Golis Mero, you can see directly I can run it, and I'll say -h so that it can show me the details. But you see it directly uses print command, so we don't have any option. We can scan http:// 492.168.20.8. That is my DWA IP. If you see, I can show you that as well right here. Okay, and I'll just copy the link, paste it here. Okay, so you see must use Python 2. Python 2 is required. So what I will do is I'll say Python 2 golismero.py and then run. See, it started. So it will perform the vulnerability assessment for my this application. It will perform Nmap, it will perform Nikto and lots of the things. So just enjoy. She is only managing HA proxy and all, right? Well, I prefer to contact Rana. Contact Rana because she knows how to perform backend configuration. So might be she will be having access. It's not I don't know it is a Cloudflare or not, maybe. But as per the settings, I can see it is not Cloudflare. In that website, my IP right is just showing NetInch. So might be see HA proxy or Logstash somewhere from there, and that is we are doing there in their something backend configuration. So it is something backend configuration related issue. Check in Grafana whether in backend we also have the HA proxy and that thing in Grafana. So check in Grafana whether we are getting some hits or some issues over there or not, right? If there is any update, no update, whatever, right? Contact Rana first, right? Yeah, and then contact Mahesh. Okay guys, so as you can see the results are pretty huge. We are getting a lot of the things, right? It will check for SQL injection and lots of the text as well, okay? So see the results start from here. Summary. Can you see the screen?
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
hello. There are 35
Yes, sir.
vulnerabilities available with this particular web application or the server, okay? Where it all starts with URL disclosure. You can see it also gives the occurrence ID. URL disclosure, it can be easily performed brute force, right? And see the description, the solution, CWE number. For more details, contact this. Again, brute force on this particular application. You can see it is a login page. It is easy, right? You can do. Yesterday we had the session. So same login page brute force. So easily anybody can get into it. The third one is again brute force on this particular page. Fine. Again brute force on DBW application. You have the password as well, right? Then again brute force with this particular application with this URL. You know the difference. Here it is just showing me the URL, but what it tried, it is not showing me. Okay. Then again URL brute force. This URL you can see information solution and everything is specified. But it said it is not possible to remove it, block it, or SMTP means block it from HTTP server. It says like that. Brute force, again brute force, again brute force. Now this is something different. You can see till here it is brute force. See, with a different URL. But now it is a web application attack, vulnerable application. So with the help of Nikto, Nikto is a again web application scanner. So it is using well application that is this. So it says PHP is showing me all the database and all details. Fine. Then another application is Nikto scan for further things and release. You can say shows me what is the PHP version. Okay. Then it shows me the change logs. Then it shows me the MySQL details. Then it shows me again the documentation, which is directly means you can see is browsable. Browsable means indexing is available. If you wanna check, you can easily go with DOC. Let me check DOC slash. Okay, and you can see it is available. Can you see that? So Nikto is helping me gathering all such information. Okay, then it is showing me some PHP vulnerable information is available. I can also find out the indexing again with the icons. Then we have read only, PHP admin. There is one test page also available. You can see where the indexing is available. Then we have PHP info, which is revealing all the PHP information. It started with PHP info and check out further information from this Nikto. Okay, PHP might have been. I'm more interested into DBWS stuff. Okay, and so I'm just scrolling it. So it checked everything on this server, what is vulnerable, what is not, everything. Furthermore, you can say Nikto minus H if you dedicatedly want to search with Nikto only. So you can also say like this 20.8. So it will also check for, you can say, Apache and all. You can see it is having PHP and what are the further vulnerabilities it is going to check.
एक बार कॉल करो व्हाट्सएप है ना मगर प्रोफाइल क्या भेजना हमने स्टार्ट कर देता नहीं नहीं मैं नाम ही ठीक है
Okay, guys, so you can see all the details which we have gone through. So we have gone through two scanners. One is Golismero and one is Nikto. Any question till here? Guys, any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Another tool we have is Sparta. Right, so it is also a web scanner. Network based server scanner. Okay, so you can see it is again based on Python only, right? If you want the beta version, you can really go with that. To install, the only command you need to have is this command, right? It will work with Nmap, Hydra, and a lot of the other things. Okay, so three commands you have to go with. Okay, number one is Python Elixir, number two is Nmap, Hydra, QTP, and the third one is this. Okay, so we'll install all of three. See, it says I'm unable to locate this package. Fine, skip it. Let's check with this. Well, Nmap and everything is installed, so no need to worry. The last is the default configuration of Sparta. So I'll just configure that as well. See, most of the things are pre-installed in Kali, so we don't need to worry. Done. Now, this is the installation methodology. So I'll proceed to user share folder first. Then in here, I'll download the Sparta. ls cd Sparta. ls, and here is all your files. Okay. Furthermore, I can run this, but it is said like not here, there. It says just copy the Sparta file in user bin and make it executable. Okay, so what we will do is you can make a shortcut of that with the help of this command. Okay, so what you can do is you can say like this Sparta .py to user win Sparta. Okay, like this. Okay, so what I will say is I'll say Sparta, enter. So you can see it is opening the GUI, right? Guys, can you see that? It is a GUI based. Well, it also has its own word list to perform scans and all things. So we don't need to worry. We just open it. Now click here to add. So just click it and add your IP 192.168.20.8 like this, and I'll say add to scope. Right. So you will see it is going to perform Nmap. Everything it will do. Just you have to enjoy and wait. See, it is going to scan for the ports. I think this is good. So you can see it is performing attacking. Okay. See, one of the services already crashed, and that is SMTP. Can you see that? And it's still running. Okay, so wait for it. So it is also scanning with Nikto, scanning with Nmap. Okay, so I can see it is done. You can also perform brute force if you want to get from here, you can see. But let's see how it works. It has scan with this particular ports. There are 31 ports open. It is said as Linux. Nikto says there are these vulnerabilities. You can see. SMTP also checked. MySQL also checked. So it shows you all the enumeration as well. Okay. It says furthermore you can use the Hydra tool, right, in order to crack it. And the best part is you can see it is cracking the password as well. So the login with root. Okay. Username, one target successful and one password found. What is the password? Password is root. Can you see that? Same way
Yes, sir.
here in the PostGRE SQL, it says login is PostGRE, password is also PostGRE. So it performs the brute force as well. And in FTP, see, login with anonymous, password is sparta.com. So any password is fine with anonymous, okay? So you can also log in with this. FTP default, no password is found. You can take the screen with the help of this. There is a snapshot also specified. If you want to see, you can say just rest X11 screenshot. Here it is. So there is a snapshot here also taken, means I can take the remote as well. Then this is the Nikto. Right, so I hope this tool is awesome. You can, if you want, you can perform the brute force attack as well on any particular port, right? For an example, say specify the service, specify the IP. FTP port number is 21. I'm not going to try with blank password. Login as password. Look up around the users. Exit on for dwelling. Okay. Verbose. Fine. Not required. I have the username. Let's say MSF admin. I don't know the password, so I'll make use of password list, and you can see all the word lists are specified here. Okay, so I'll just first extract rocky.txt sudo so okay gzip minus d user share word list rocky.txt.gz. Okay, and I'll say nano. Now this word list which I'm showing you is having millions of passwords. Okay, so to show you the practical, I'm adding it in the password list. Okay, so we'll be using this word list which I just show you right here. Open, and you can see done. Okay, you can say run in order to run the command. So it is going to use the Hydra tool, okay, in order to perform the cracking. So you can see it is cracking with FTP. My mistake, I have added the wrong username.
Aji, Aji, scroll and there's no time. This is good now.
So guys, you can see
Say
one
that.
pair found with the login and password as MSF as MSF. You can see it is finished. Okay. So with the help of Sparta as well, you can perform the brute force attack. Okay, actually Sparta is not the original tool. It is using multiple tools in background. Okay. For example, Nmap for port scanning, Nikto for vulnerability scanning, right? Hydra for brute force. Getting my point? Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
So that's all for the day. Tomorrow we'll start up with some more tools, right? And then we'll start web application and attacking part. Okay. See you tomorrow, guys.
Hello,
Bye.
may I speak with Arvind?
Yeah, okay, sir. Bye. Thank you.
Hello. Hi Arvind, this is Farhat calling from Uprisers Staffing and Solutions. Hello. Am I audible? Yeah. So actually I called you regarding job opportunity for US basic client. So actually this is part time. You should have to work 20 hours a week. So they are looking for, just a second I will let you know.
part-time business.